Hi friends, welcome again. I hope that today's session can really make a huge impact in your life. We all have emotions, whether we want to admit that or not, whether we see ourselves as emotional people or more rational people. We do have emotions, and emotions are just so important. Emotions and the word motion, you can see there, emotions bring us into motion. Emotions are the music of life, or you can say it brings color to life. Without that, our lives become dull and very boring. But emotions can often make life really very difficult. I've been there. This is now a few months after my cardiac procedure. I had my times of fear, of anxiety, of worry, of feeling a bit depressed, and also, dealing with the feelings of uncertainty. How long do I have to live? What about my mortality? And things like that. We all have those emotions that just, they just come. You don't ask for them. You don't wake up and say, listen, I want to press the button for depression. Now I have depression, and then I can press the off button and it will go away. It's just, they sometimes they just they, or sometimes something happens, and it, you have a pain somewhere and you start having anxiety because of that, or you wake up and you just feel tired, and you didn't sleep well, and then those emotions come, and we often struggle how to navigate them. Now I know that you, just like me, had been on a journey with yourself. You've learned how to cope with your emotions in a certain way. Some of those coping skills actually worked for you. Some of them worked against you. Some of them were very applicable to a time in your life where you needed survival skills, and so some of those emotions can or could become very dysfunctional and counterproductive. So the question is not, whether we should have emotions and whether we should have anxiety or not. It's actually more, how can we navigate those emotions? What do we do with those emotions? Or are we just victims of emotions that come and go? And as I said right from the beginning, we are not victims. You are only a victim when you allow yourself to be a victim, when you choose to be a victim. But we are overcomers. We are cardiac, not survivors, but we are cardiac warriors. And I know it sounds very over brave and a bit arrogant, but you become what you tell yourself you are. And you are still the same person that you were before your cardiac procedure. You have a few challenges now, but you are the same person, and you have some skills that you can use to make yourself stronger and to still have a great, happy life in the midst of challenges and in spite of challenges. And this is my purpose of today, that you will learn some of those skills. We have already said, in a previous module 1, we said, we can choose to be proactive. There's a stimulus and there's a response, and often the one just goes over to the other one without us thinking about what the response should be. You just react in a very conditioned, pre-programmed way, and you don't actually ask yourself, how do I want to respond to this situation? But we can put a pause between our stimulus, our circumstances, or our pain, or whatever, and our response. Let's say you wake up and you feel down and your energy is down and you feel a bit depressed. You can choose how to respond to those feelings, and whether you want to rethink your thinking and you actually want to do something about it, or you can just surrender to those feelings, those emotions, and your day can be spoiled and can be dominated by them. So we always have a choice. That's the big important key that can help us not being victims. And I hope that you can see that by now, that we can live proactive lives where we navigate our thoughts, where we navigate our emotions, and where we actually make some choices that can help us. We also, in our second module, spoke about the power of beliefs. what do you believe about your current situation? What do you believe about life? And I'm not talking about religious beliefs. I'm talking about your perceptions, your inner beliefs, your views on life, how you actually interact with life. What cognitively, what is going on in your mind without you even knowing it? And as we said, what you focus on just expands, it grows. So if you focus on problems, and if you focus on negative emotions, you focus on the troubles and the hardships of life, you just see more and more of those. Just this morning, I woke up and I struggled to fall asleep, and suddenly I heard a motorbike, and then I heard another one, and then another one, and the more and more I focused on the traffic, the more traffic I could hear. And well, normally I won't even hear them. My mind will just filter that out, and I will just drift into sleep again. And I had to work really hard to not allow myself to focus on the traffic sounds. They're very similar, we see with emotions. If we and thoughts, if we focus on certain thoughts, they just start growing, and they become more and more, and your beliefs become like a filter, where you actually filter in more and more of those thoughts, and you actually get evidence to prove to yourself that those thoughts are actually true. And the same with emotions. If we focus on negative emotions and we allow ourselves to be there, and we feel sorry for ourselves, it really expands and grows, and it can take over our lives. There's a saying that you either take emotions captive, or emotions will hold you captive. Or just to put it in a different way, either you manage your emotions, or emotions will manage you. So, and you can see the one is being a victim to your emotions, and the other one is taking control of that and telling yourself, listen, this is not the way that I want to go through today. And you know that I am an executive coach. I work with companies. I guide them through strategic processes. I work with teams and leaders. And it's part of my responsibility to make sure that those leaders are at the top of their game. And I had to prove to them this statement over and over. So sometimes what I do is I say, okay, I can see the energy is a bit low. I want you guys just to stand up. And then I play a few games with them. I tell them, let's just, choose a conversational partner, and we talk gibberish, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and I say, okay, then we go over to moanerish, how that goes, and a bit of cryerish, and then we can do a bit of laugherish. And they just, act out different emotions, even angerish and then laverish. And, as soon as they start acting out those emotions, and the energy starts to flow, and we do a few, yes, yes, yes. I asked them after about 3 minutes, how do you feel now? And all of them always say, I feel more energetic. I feel a bit relieved. I feel different. So you can actually just practically reset your emotions. Now, I'm not saying, jump up every now and then and do a dance. That will always help if you put your mind to that. But your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the real thing and something that you fake. If you fake being happy, if you fake being energetic, if you decide to portray energy and happiness, somehow your brain just aligns itself with that. And also your autonomic nervous system will start also feeling like that, and there will be more energy. So we can take control immediately about on our emotions. I've seen that with teams playing soccer or rugby. If during halftime, if they start to have a good conversation with each other, and they say, listen, we can do this, we are better than the other team, let's psych ourselves up a bit here, guys, come on, we cannot play our game like this is not who we are. And they do a few yes, 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 and they stand together, and they encourage each other, and they believe in each other, and then with that courage run on the field. That's a different team. They feel different, they play different. The game is different. It's a game changer. And so I hope that you can actually allow yourself to have some game-changing tactics that can really help you. So I have developed this method, and I've leaned heavily on some of the neuroscientists. I can just maybe recall the name of Joe Dispenza, and especially Caroline Leaf, and there are many, many others that are really great in this field. If we can exercise these things, it can really help us. So I call this the Arab method, not my own research. It was just a product of those things that I've learned. So the Arab method goes through 5 steps. It's becoming aware, reflecting on the situation, on your awareness, then replacing some of those thoughts and emotions, internalizing them or embody them, and then practice it into real life. So let me quickly talk you through this method. So let's say you woke up in the morning and you really don't feel well. You feel low energy. You feel dissatisfied with your life. There's a lot of worry and a bit of anxiety because of the situation that you are in. When you acknowledge it, when you become mindful of it, you allow yourself to have those emotions, and you just become mindful of what's going on in your body. And perhaps you will notice a knot on your stomach, or some stress on your shoulders, or on your neck, or even your jawbone will be a bit stiff. You just acknowledge this is going on in my body, or you can just feel in your arms that you don't feel as relaxed as you normally do. So that's the awareness. That's to become aware something is not right. So when it goes to the next step, you just take your awareness to a deeper level. You are now reflecting or meditating and asking yourself, what is going on? And maybe just sitting back, in a chair, and just ask yourself, okay, so what is happening here? What happened earlier this morning? What happened last night? Or is it because I didn't sleep well? Or, so you just start reflecting about the situation that you are in, and what thoughts am I having because of this? Are those thoughts really helping me? Are they better thoughts that I can actually use? Can I welcome other emotions into my life right now that will help me? Can I welcome a bit of gratefulness, and can I make a choice to love somebody and just pick up the phone and just thank somebody for something that they did for me? Can I go out of my bedroom in a good state of mind and go and be a blessing to other people? Can I do that? And you're reflecting on what kind of day you want to have, or how your day will be. Let's say it's in the middle of the day, how you would like your day to continue. So it's just reflecting on where am I, what do I really want, and how can I actually live a better day today. So then you get to the third step, and that's replacing. That's when you say, okay, I don't want to focus on these thoughts. I want to focus on something different. Instead of focusing on what went wrong and how difficult my life is, I'm going to focus on what's great. And I'm going to be grateful about so many things in my life. And I'm going to allow myself to see what I have achieved in the last few days and how I am improving, and being grateful for the people that have treated me, and being grateful for the medication that I can take to help me. And I am replacing old thoughts with new thoughts, and affirming myself, and I'm going to, instead of allowing myself to be ungrateful, I'm going to decide to be grateful. Instead of being sad, I'm going to choose to be joyful and rejoice in those things that are right, and let go of those things that are not so great in my life right now. We're going to focus on them. I'm going to focus on what's good and what's helpful in my life. So then you can go to the fourth step, and that's internalizing it. I've just yesterday been coaching with a person, and a young lady of 35. She is a chartered accountant, and she's such a wonderful, intelligent person, but she had a tough life until now. And we went through a similar process as this. And then I said at one stage, hey, come on, just stand up. And it was a Zoom session, so it was virtual. And I said, just stand up. She said, well, standing up, yes, just stand up and just give me a power pose. You've just said yes to so many things, and I want you to say yes to your life that you really want. So she internalized her dreams, and she internalized the courage that she wants to have to live this life. And suddenly you can see how her whole posture, posture changed, and suddenly you see this person that actually believes that she can live this, and she wants this. So often we have to not only internalize, but also embody the emotions that we want to have. You can say, yeah, I'm happy and I'm joyful. Or you can say, hey, I'm so happy and I'm so joyful. I really rejoice about the life that I do have, and put a smile on your face. And certainly because you start internalizing it, your autonomic nervous system starts to collaborate, and you start feeling it, and you start acting it out, and life changes. So I'm talking about a deep process, and this is a neuroscientific process. So and I don't have time to explain to you all the reasons why we do it like this, but this is just a process that actually works very deeply and can reset you internally to make life so much different. So let's say you do these 4 steps in your study or in your lounge, and you've been reprogramming yourself with this. You can choose whether you take this into the day, you continue with this, or you've done that now, you just continue as if this hasn't happened. And that's of course not very helpful then. So the last step is to practice this, to take it into everyday practice, to make it part of the rest of your day. I've been resetting myself, and let me go into this day. I'm going to look for opportunities to thank people, to love people, to be grateful, to be peaceful, to make peace, and to be a blessing to this world, and also receive the many blessings that I do have, in my life. So that's just the very simple Arab method, but it's a powerful method. Of course, you can adapt this in a way that will help you, but if you don't know how to adapt this, just follow the 5 steps and just start doing them in your everyday life. And if you want to read more about that, go and just Google Caroline Leaf or Joe Dispenza or whatever. You just go and read some of those books that can help you. So we have to make a decision. Do I want to have these emotions that are bogging me down and not help me, or do I want to have a better emotional life? As soon as you've made a decision, you have to follow through. Then actually go and live that kind of life. I often play this game with people. I say, take a potato, and I give them a potato, and I give them a straw. And I say, okay, let this straw go right through this potato. And of course, they don't know how to do it. I say, okay, there are 3 steps. Firstly, you have to believe it. Secondly, you have to focus. You focus on this potato with the straw in your hand. And thirdly, you have to follow through. Now, with one movement, push it through the potato. If they are hesitant and if they don't believe it's going to happen, if they don't focus and they don't follow through, they don't get that right. So for you to also live in this new way of living life, you have to believe that it is possible for you to be much happier. It is possible for you to have far more gratefulness and peace and love and joy and goodness in your life. This is something that you welcome in your life. You make a decision for it and you believe it. Then you focus on those things and you follow through. You do these 5 steps that I've just told you about, and you will see a change taking place in your life. And you keep on reconditioning your life accordingly. And you will see how certainly these things start to happen in your life slowly but certainly, and how your happiness levels starts to rise because you've made a choice and you're acting on it. But you may ask me, okay, Johan, but I do have some real concerns, external concerns. I'm concerned about my finances. I'm concerned about the medication that I take. I'm concerned about who's going to take care of me. I'm concerned about my work, or whatever you are concerned about. I'm concerned about my fitness levels. What do I do about my health levels? And worry is something that's really very real to us. We ask all those questions, what if, and what can go wrong. But the great thing about worries is that normally it's something very practical. And normally, if you take yourself through a process, you can actually do something about that. So if we keep on doing the same things, we'll keep on having the same things. But if we do something different, we will have a different result. So I've just written down these steps for myself, and I thought maybe this can help. But just before I show you the steps, Corrie ten Boom said, "Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrows; it empties today of its strength." And that's so true, So if we allow ourselves to worry, life doesn't improve. But but you know what actually does happen is that you become less and less energetic, and those worries start to overwhelm you. You focus on that, and that grows. So how do we deal with those worries? I think, you know, if we can do that in 8 steps, and let me just quickly take you through those 8 steps. So those 8 steps are: firstly, face the issue, assess reality, set smart goals, find and define your options, and design an action plan, and then execute, and at the end you can evaluate. So let's take this, you know, apply this to on a practical thing in your lives. So I think all of us do have some concerns about our health and our fitness. So let's say, you know, you want to be fitter and healthier, and you can keep on worrying about that, but nothing will change. So of course, if you want something different, you have to do something different. So firstly, you have to face the issue. Okay, so, you know, I am not that fit and that healthy right now, and I want to change it. Secondly, you have to assess reality. So what can I do? Let's say you're focusing on your fitness, your physical fitness. You can say, listen, at this stage, I can barely walk 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers. And when I do, I walk quite slowly. So that's where I am. I can walk 1 kilometer in 20 minutes time. That's where I'm right now. So then you can say, okay, so what do I want to do? I want to be able to walk 4 kilometers at a pace of 12 minutes per kilometer. So that means 4 times 12, that's 48 minutes. I want to be able to walk 4 kilometers under 48 minutes. So then you actually, you assess reality, and you are setting yourself a smart goal that's clear and yeah, that's, so SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and there must be a time frame. So in order to do that, you have to say, within the next 3 months, I want to be able to walk 4 kilometers under 48 minutes. That's quite clear and achievable, hopefully. If it's not, then you have to make it achievable. So then the 4th step is you start to find and define options. You know, how will I actually do this? How often will you walk? Where will you walk? How will you actually measure your time? Do you have a stopwatch? What will you do to measure your time? How will you keep track of your progress? So you define your options, and then fifthly, you actually design your action plan. You take the best options that you have, put it into your action plan, and you start then to execute on that. That's your 6th step, and then you evaluate how are you doing, and then if you want to, you can change your plan. So that's practically how you can actually use this. You know, this is 7 steps, and you can have 10 steps or 5 steps, whatever's working for you. Just have a practical plan that can actually take you away from only worrying about it, but start doing something about it. Let me take something else. You might have some fear. So instead of using the Arab method, you can say, okay, I have this real fear. I will do the Arab method. So, but you know, you have this fear that you might die, or that you might have a heart attack or another heart attack. So what do you do about this? Again, I've designed just 4 steps to deal with this. Firstly, face and embrace it. Secondly, listen and talk to this fear, and I'll show you how to do it just now. Then you have to let go of the fear and then move on to something else. So let me take you through this process, how we do this. So in order to navigate fear, we have to have a practical way to deal with it. So what's very helpful to me when fear arrives in my life, you know, you don't ask for it. You just sometimes have this fear. Something probably triggered it, or maybe nothing triggered, but suddenly you're just afraid. You know, like when I had to go back to work, there were some fears that I had. So I have to say, okay, let me face the fact. I have to go back to work, and I embrace this fear. It is there. I'm not going to suppress it. I'm not going to ignore it. It's there. So then I address fear as if fear is a person, because actually fear is a voice, an inner voice that's talking to you. Then I say, okay, fear, you are welcome here, and I want to invite you to tell me, what are you concerned about, and what are you trying to warn me about? Okay, so you are afraid that I might not be strong enough, I might not be able to do a full day's work. You are afraid that I might kill myself working. Okay, so let me tell you, this is those are real concerns, and this is the way that I'm going to address this. I'm going to take frequent breaks. I'm going to pace myself. I'm not going to kill myself. I'm going to stop at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoons and allow myself to have great evenings. I will rest during weekends. So this is my plan. Okay, Fear, I've listened to you. I've addressed the issues. Now you can go and play. Almost as you tell a little child to go and play. You just dismiss it. You allow it to go. You allow this fear to go away. But then you have to do something else. You have to then move on to something else. If you keep on wallowing in this fear, it will just stay there. But now you've dealt with it. So move on to something else. Go and read a book. Go for a walk. Pick up the phone and phone somebody. Do something productive. And just set your mind on different things, and slowly but certainly the emotion will also go away. If it doesn't, then do the Arab method that I've explained to you. There's one last thing just before I greet you that I think is really important, and this is just a practical way that I've learned that we can use to deal with the emotions and the stress in our bodies. So often we are stressing. We can ignore it, but it's there. And sometimes it's not a big emotional thing. It's just you experience the stress in your body and you don't know what to do with it. And you want to be more relaxed. Often heart patients are people that are very driven. We have learned how to be successful by being driven people. But so what I've learned that can really help when it comes to stress. So let me just say, so stress is normally your emotional reaction because of your perception of certain things in your life. So there's a something real, but there's also then your perception of that, the story that you are telling yourself, the belief that you have, and then there's your emotional reaction. Your emotional reaction is your pituitary gland in your brain that's secreting cortisol and adrenaline because of your perception on this thing. And it happens very fast. We don't have really big choices of that. So we can fight that, or we can say, okay, what can I do? So what can really be very helpful is if you can just while you're sitting there or whatever you're doing, just stiffen your muscles, pull all your muscles together, your toes, your arms, your stomach muscles. If you can do that, sometimes hard after our cardiac surgery to do that, and just pull your face together and just stiffen all your muscles just for a few seconds, and then let it go. Just let it go, and now you relax your feet, your ankles, your calves, your knees, your upper legs, the middle part of your body, your stomach, your chest, shoulders, arms, hands. Let your shoulders just hang and relax your jawbone and your face, and let your face become expressionless. Let all the expression just flow out of your face, and just totally relax your body. Okay. Now just sit there for a while, and now start focusing on your breathing. Just breathe in and out. Okay. Now you can, so this is the second step now. Now you can just breathe out for about 8 seconds. And now breathe in. Actually, the breath just spontaneously come back to your lungs for about 4 seconds. And then you breathe out again, about 8 seconds. And just keep on doing that. Breathing in 4 seconds, breathing out for about 8 seconds. You don't have to count that, but as long as you breathe out longer than you're breathing in. And as we're breathing out, if you can use your stomach for that, let your stomach go up and down, not your chest as much, but as more your stomach, and you will see how you start relaxing. Just keep on focusing on your breathing. If your mind wanders off, just bring it back to your breathing. So that's the second step. Just do that for a while. And then you can go to the third step, and that's taking your mind to some great things. Remember something, some place where you've been, maybe a holiday home or walking on the beach, and just experiencing yourself. Maybe in a bush, maybe at a stream. Just put your feet in the water. Just be there and relax and take in your environment. And after a while, you can see a cloud, and you can see how the cloud is just drifting. You see yourself here, how you actually identify with this cloud, and you become this cloud. And you're drifting, and you allow yourself just to be there. Now your brain might actually wander off, but just bring it back every time. And you totally relax. Now I wish I had more time to keep you there, but you can just open your eyes. So you've got these 3 steps that you can use. Friends, help yourself with this. It's so easy, but you'll see this brings relaxation to you. And often when you use the Arab method, you can maybe start with this and then just become aware of where you are, and you just address those emotions, and you replace it with better emotions, and you embody it, you internalize it, and you take it into the day as a relaxed, happy person. So let's just get awake a bit, just stand up and shake yourself a bit, and go and enjoy today. May today be a joyful day. So we have to relax at times, but if we want to go into the day, we have to lift our energy and say yes to the day and say yes to the good stuff. And I know it's tough, my friends. I know, it sounds like, this is just a lot of wow, and good motivational stuff, but this is not like that. It's tough to go and do, and we have to make the choice to allow ourselves to have the kind of life that we always wanted. You have a new chance. You have a new opportunity on life. Go and live it. In spite of the little niggles and stuff that you have, the interferences, go and choose to live your life and to be a happy person, because the better internal emotional life you have, the better chances you are giving yourself to be healthier and to be a happier person and to make the full use of life that's still ahead of you. May you have a happy emotional life, a blessed life. I see you next time on the 4th module. We're going to talk about seeing the future, embracing the future, and making that part of your everyday life.